I didn't expect this to happen, actually. I thought I would just click new and hey, everybody's happy. Okay, so we can play either Scratch's Director's Cut or Scratch's The Last Visit. Director's Cut is the main game, and The Last Visit is a sort of brief, you know, rounding off the after years, whatever. I saw someone go through it. It's pretty short, so I will try to do this once I've gone through the director's cut. And yeah, I actually don't think I've played The Last Visit before. Yeah, well, whatever. Director's cut is go.
I arrived at Blackwood Manor one cold Saturday morning amidst a thick veil of fog. The weather didn't look good, and there was an unnatural calm surrounding the area, yet I soon became entangled with the place.
Okay. I think we're in control. I also, full disclosure, I don't know which bits of dialogue will be voice acted and which are not. So, well, I know the phone conversations will be voiced, but beyond that, well. Anyway, here we are. As you can tell, this game doesn't really, well, push the, yeah, graphics technology much. However, it is what it is. Ooh, I can do things to my car. Hey, keys. Doink. Okay, so this is where we are going to be spending the entirety of the game. This little place. I think we'll get some backstory to that effect soon, but the main protagonist is a writer, and he's come here to, well, write, because authors or something, I guess. There's very little music in the game. So that's, well, that may or may not be cool for you, but that is a thing that few games do, actually. So I think it's nice that some games go and do this every once in a while. I think it works pretty well with the atmosphere as well, you know. Being a desolate building and you're all alone, there's, you know, not a whole lot of sound, well, to be expected, frankly. Let's see. A fountain that doesn't really move at all. Okay. And we are now face to face with the front door. Oh, and apparently I bring up the inventory by right-clicking. Great. Let's see this thing. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay. Okay, yeah, the door to the house is locked, fortunately, great. But I want to unlock it. Can I please unlock the door? I'm supposed to get in through. Okay. Can I please open the bloody door now? Ah! Okay. Left click on item. Okay, okay. Okay. This is slightly absurd here. What you need to do to use an item, right click to bring up the inventory, left click on the item, then right click to close the inventory screen, and then left click with your item. I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but hey, we're inside. Yay. Let's see, I don't need that part of the walkthrough. There, I'm gone. I'm supposed to be hearing a phone ring at some point. I don't have speakers connected right now, though. Well, yeah. Hello. If you watched my previous Let's Plays, I think you are familiar with my setup.
Hello?
Michael, it's me.
Hey, Jerry. It's good to hear your voice.
I see that piece of junk you got there is working.
My thoughts exactly. I was afraid it'd fall apart as soon as I laid my fingers on it.
So how did you find everything? Do you like the place?
It's hard to tell yet. I'm very impressed, that's for sure.
You sound odd. Is everything okay?
Yes, it's perfectly fine. It's just that I'm in awe. I mean, pleasantly surprised. This house is like a dream come true.
So you do like it? You got me worried there for 1 second.
I'm telling you, I'm going to turn this place into a factory of horror stories.
Good. You ought to finish that book. rooting for you, mate. You sure everything is in order?
Well, I just got here. Let me have a look around, and I'll get back to you if I find anything strange.
Excellent. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, so the phone was apparently ringing. Great. Okay. Back. Hey. Okay. Oh, by the way, there were a few names among the credits there that I want to bring special attention to. Jonathan Boakes. He's made a few games of his own. Of a similar theme, point-and-click adventure thingamajig. I don't know if... well, also Agustin Cordes. I don't know much about the Spanish named guy. I think he's from Argentina. But you should look them up. They have some. They have an interesting history. Well, maybe not together, but each on their own, individually and stuff. Okay, so I'm supposed to go into the front room. I'm guessing that's this one. Huh, the mouse is really moving quickly here. Ooh. Ah. TMI, dude. TMI. Okay. Oh, books. We like to read books, don't we? I was reading one interesting. Well, maybe we can drop it in an incinerator somewhere. Okay, this is a diary apparently. I'm gonna read through this in full. Yeah, me reading out loud. So it's gonna take some time. I am sorry, but that's just how reading works. April 20th. During a fit of rage, I burnt my previous diary. Not that I regret it, as if my disjointed notes were worth anything. Their only purpose was to keep me sane. I feel that this is my escape route, my only means of finding some inner peace. Whenever I put my pen to this paper, I feel that I can reflect upon my situation. I just wish I had more options, that's all. But I'm rambling. I must think clearly. Focus, focus. May 12th. I've become an eternal guardian, stuck between few choices, none of which are good. Do I fulfill a promise and violate everything that I believe in, the very principles of my life, or am I condemned to spend the rest of my existence in this deadened state, a ghost with no other purpose than just being here watching? I truly have no escape. I can't find an appropriate solution to this problem, and I must pay the price. I'm a shadow of the man I used to be. Only these notes remain, my testament to these moments of meditation, my sole companion. Well, that's all very grim there, good sir or madam or whatever the hell. June 26th. Today I spent the entire afternoon staring at the window, my mind a blank. Oddly enough, I really didn't care. It seems now as though it was something natural for me, a part of my personality. But I know the reason very well. I've lost my soul. I'm an empty shell, devoid of any feelings. I renounced them on that fateful day. And the worst thing is, I knew there were going to be consequences. No, that's not true. Consequences were far worse than I expected. How could I be so blind? January 20-something? 24th maybe? No, it looks like Looks like it's 21st, but who am I to judge? So this is 6 months later. Keep the time scale in mind here. Not that it's important per se, but it helps, you know, keeping things, in perspective. Okay, I often wonder what would have happened if we had simply reversed it all. What would happen if right now I came out and told the world what really happened? No, I'd end up rotting in jail. Although that might be a better destiny compared to this eternal suffering. November 17th. 11 months after that. Wow. I can't say for sure when it began. I just heard them one morning coming from the next room. The whispers. Are they real? Have I been alone for too long? They won't stop. I can't stand it any longer. February 9th. Ever since I locked it away, that everything seems to have calmed down a bit. I think there's one word too many in that sentence. Perhaps James was right after all. It's madness, I know. But at this point, I'd be inclined to believe anything. May? No date? Over the years, I was convinced that everything James suffered was a misfortune, a whim of destiny. For the first time ever, I'm not so sure anymore. I never thought it could happen, but I believe I understand now. If this is so, then cursed be my soul. Poor James. If I had acted in another way, then maybe things would have worked out differently. But it's too late now, and I have to suffer my Calvary. Calvary? What in the blazes is that? Maybe you should look it up. Maybe I should look it up as well. Anyway, moving on, September 13th. The noises are back, although this time they're different. Before, I'd only hear them inside my head as if someone or something was whispering, and, how to put this, interrupting my thoughts. But now I can really feel them spreading around the house. What are they? September 14th. I realized the noises are coming from down there. I don't want to think about it anymore. Oh boy. December. Oh, no? Huh, there's only one E in December this time. How strange. They aren't bearable. They get worse at night. Oh, how I wish it would stop. What is going on down there? I don't care. I don't dare go near. I don't want to know. Not March, but May? God, how many years have passed? I've lost all sense of time. I have to get out of this place. Did I do it? Oh. Well, just in case they voice it, I shall leave it alone. It looked as if an untidy person enjoyed reading in the living room. Okay, we can only read that one book. But that one book was plenty. Oh, I'm coming up on 20 minutes. Right. Now what? No, that's not how you game. That is how you do it. I don't think these messages are voiced, actually. Peculiar. Okay, I can't do anything with this. That's not very adventure gamey of you, game. Well, I can watch the painting. Someone's peeling potatoes, I think. Okay. And a random photograph of a random city somewhere in England. Okay. there a light switch somewhere nearby? Oh yeah, there it is. Click my way over here. I attempted to brighten up the whole place, but to my surprise, the lights wouldn't work. Okay, that sucks. Great. Someone has been less than seen in this place, and light won't come on. Well, I suppose that's not really a big surprise. I guess people haven't been living here for a long time, and the utility plan just expired. Oh well, that happens. Let's see. This should lead into a study of some sort. Huh. And it did. Sweet. What can we do in here then? Well, we can admire the fancy things. No, smoking can kill you, especially when the cigars are decades old. Well, I guess that is quite true. And no luck there. Okay. Remnants of previous fire, you say? Okay. Good to know. There's a fancy, stylish metal thingy. And utterly irrelevant. And this is also mainly irrelevant, but that is an object of art, I would suppose. Craft of metal craft of some persuasion. Curtains? Oh, lacy curtains. My family's summer place has curtains like this. Well, in the same, kind of craft, not the same pattern. Well, just, I don't know. Just saying. Just making words. Ah, can't I read those books? Oh well. Main character, don't give a damn. 2 years in East Africa, a journey to the sources of the Nile, with numerous illustrations. That sounds cool, I guess. Okay. Ah, here's another book that you can read. Ah, boy. Okay, I'm gonna read this, then I'm gonna call it an episode, and then my throat is going to murder me massively. Here goes. February 6th. The construction of the railway bridge is almost complete and went quite smoothly. It took longer than expected, yet I wish it would have lasted longer. I will be very sad to leave South Africa. I've become so attached to it, its culture and its arts over the past few months, that I can't help feeling as if it was already a part of me. I will surely return someday. Soon, hopefully, although I'm afraid there's a great deal of work to be taken care of back in old Britain. Fortunately, I made good friends here who were ecstatic about my new appreciation of their country. They have offered me some wonderful objects as a token of gratitude, which I have already crated, that is, put in a crate, and got ready to ship, along with many trinkets I bought myself. It looks like I'm about to start a very substantial collection. It's a good thing Catherine agreed to move into our new home, although I fear several renovations will have to be made. Even more if I'm intending to start a serious new hobby. It seems I'll have to get back to work. John Patterson has just told me some natives are causing trouble. A very unfortunate thing, although I'm secretly rejoicing. February 12th. The natives won't leave. It's not like they're causing trouble so much as they're unsettling our workers. The only complaint so far has been distraction. They just stand still between the trees, staring at us without blinking an eye. I've watched them for a few minutes, and they truly seem like some tenebrous statues. At first it was just annoying, but lately it has become downright creepy. They seem to be stalking us, so it's not like they're hindering the construction, but there's a general uneasy feeling as if they were about to jump at us at any moment. I think I'll hire some protection as a measure of precaution. Okay, that's not creepy at all, is it? February 15th. Fascinating. I've been looking into these natives. They live in a nearby village and are a very small group, yet they seem to manage quite well. I had thought of them as quite an uncivilized tribe, but their movements are calculated and one can perceive a sense of careful organization in their tasks. Oddly enough, they seem to be very brutish, and their aspect looks awful, although I couldn't take a good look at their facial features, as I followed one of them completely on my own, and it could have been dangerous getting any closer. You don't say! Also, the village is poor and very rough, but some of the shacks leapt out as inviting or special. It made me very curious. I will try to come closer tomorrow. February 16th. More water, I believe. My second expedition to the village of the natives has been foiled by an unexpected problem at the bridge. I'm afraid it was due to a slight miscalculation on my part, an indication that I should be focusing more on the task at hand and put my sudden love for all African things aside for a moment. It was my fault, and I accept it. Oops. And the 20th, they are at it again, lurking beyond the forest. It's amazing how they have changed our perception of the surroundings. At first we were delighted by the quiet nature of the place. Now we fear what horrors might be concealed in that dark and foreboding cloak of trees. The tops loom above us, overshadowing the bridge, and strange noises haunt our meals. Even the river, telling ungodly secrets. We could be, of course, a bit more sensitive towards distractions, but I can't help feeling the area has, in fact, become more sinister. And yet, I'm still looking forward to satisfying my curiosity about the tribe. Huh. Really? So, the 24th. At last I found something more about the neighboring tribe. This is an incredible finding, and I just can't withhold my excitement. Some elders of the local town happen to know about them, but only through stories they heard. The most surprising thing is that the tribe was assured to be extinct long ago, but according to my vague descriptions, the elders think that we could be dealing with a legend here. Everything they ever learned of them was during their childhood, when the tribe was stalking the town, much in the same way they have been stalking us. People used to call them Dlaum? Dlaum. Well, I think it's D''L''H''A''U''M. Pronounce it any way you like. Anyway, people used to call them Dlaum, as such was the sound of screams heard echoing late in the night. Okay. That would be the weirdest damn scream I'd ever heard. They'd come out into the streets and see an evil glitter atop a hill in the distance. Some would say it was a fire, others the cursed spirit of an ancient god. Whatever it was, they say the bright light amid those fantastic screams was bone-chilling. So yeah, there's fantastic and there's fantastic. Well, if you are familiar with the distinction, I urge you to look it up on your own. The macabre scene would suddenly stop just as it had begun out of nowhere, never to be seen again in days to come. Intervals between those horrible nights became longer and longer, until they soon faded into oblivion. The tribe apparently had retreated back into obscurity until now. They were later known as the Dalmar, a rather more scientific name, although none of the people I spoke with could possibly remember its origin. I find it extremely surprising that nobody has ever heard about this tribe, with the exception of a few townspeople. They must be incredibly rare, and judging by the stories passed on from generations in the town, very old. February 27th. Ah, this is a long damn diary. I will confess that I've become nearly obsessed with this strange tribe. I see them as the most prized goal of my appreciation towards all South African things, a dangerous yet irresistible reward. I feel as if they were my discovery. I simply have to study them before leaving. I fear I won't have the chance to ever again. It has become an important goal of mine, even more important than finishing the bridge. March 4th. Finally, I have managed to see them. My God, what a disturbing spectacle. When we arrived, they were moving around the village very slowly without speaking or communicating with each other, each minding his or her own business, completely alien to the rest of the world. They were filthy looking, coarse, and downright disgusting. I couldn't see any weapons, but they could have been stored somewhere. It was all very strange behavior in a tribe. They must be quite unique. Then, as if they had suddenly all become possessed by some wild spirit, they began shaking spasmodically and screaming like mad. Some of them dropped to their knees and lifted their heads to the sky, eyes blank, moaning in an indescribable way. Two of them walked away, still in that monotonous and slow manner, and in great contrast to the rest of the scene, into a shack. The next minute, they brought out into the open an odd-looking mask. Its shapes, colors, and overall looks, while unsettling, were mesmerizing, that's another word, and I felt instantly hypnotized by it. It rendered my modest collection of African curiosities into dull and uninteresting items. The mask was very ominous, and the whole tribe seemed to greatly revere it. Soon they began to gather around it and move in circles, fluttering and chanting a guttural song. Judging by their emotions and aspect of the whole ritual, it must have been some kind of war ritual. Oh my God, this is a long one. I'm not sure how to explain what happened next, as I feel my pulse is already throbbing. Words fail me to recount the most disturbing thing I've ever witnessed. One of the male villagers walked into the middle, near the mask by his own will. It was an almost automatic act. All of a sudden, the remaining members became silent. I can't tell how long it lasted, but I was afraid to breathe. Well, there should be another E there, writers. Slap on the wrist. I think Dolby and the others were also scared. They wouldn't even blink. I remember being soaked wet and expectant. Soaked with sweat, I do hope you mean to say. The silence was so unnatural. Then a few members separated from the people circling the mask and jumped on the single villager, beating him to death. To be completely faithful to the event, the small crowd tore him apart. Wow. They grabbed his legs in twos and threes and twisted them in a manner I dare not describe. I'm glad we don't get an FMV of this. His face was disfigured with their bare fingernails and teeth, and the torso soon disappeared under the frenzied tangle of hands. Ew. In a matter of a few minutes, the villager was turned into a red sack of bones. Not one of the attackers had the compassion to snap his neck during the sickening process. All was very methodical, as if it was just another mundane task. The most terrifying aspect, though, was that the victim didn't even cringe. The silence was so deep I could hear his flesh ripping. Shit, son. I mean, not that that kind of thing is silent in any way. Well, not that I know, but hey, I've I've cut through meat while cooking, you know. It would be slightly noisier than that. I suppose. I would expect any living creature to scream its guts out in such a condition. I can't tell whether he was drugged or half asleep, but I did recognize him dancing like everybody else before walking into the middle of the circle. It was the most outrageous and sadistic sacrifice I've ever heard of. I don't think I will ever forget what I saw. To be fair, I don't think I would either. My intentions of approaching further, even if they didn't have any weapons at hand, vanished. No wonder. Those creatures, I dare not call them human beings, could have killed my whole company in the blink of an eye with their rage. They seemed to be completely out of themselves and willing to destroy anything intruding into their path. And that's the end of the diary, and as I promised, the end of this episode. No? Okay. More to get into the thing. While the images of the sacrifice still haunt my thought, I still can't seem to forget that mask. It was so deceptively... Oh. Dipped over, deceptively simple, and yet perfect in its design. I haven't seen anything like it. I surely would love to take a better look. I feel the Dalmar, dangerous as they are, could be the most important ethnical finding in decades. What I've seen today is crying for some further investigation. I just can't leave them like that. I would never forgive myself. And the mask, that mask. I was ecstatic after reading the journal. The material was incredible. So yeah, we write stuff for a living, by the way. Let's see, can I access the menu somehow? Yes, I press escape. Then I press save. That has been episode 1 of my Let's Play of Scratches Director's Cut. I think the next episode will be slightly less grim and slightly less diary heavy. But who knows anyway. See you next time.